What's up and welcome to Unusual Chatter Podcast. My name is Nikki Grant and I will be your host for this podcast. Before we get into episode 5, I want to invite you to follow us on all social media platforms. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You don't want to miss out on what's going to happen on all those social media platforms. All right, let's hop into episode number 5. We have a great guest joining us today. She is strong-willed. She's super talented. She's a great wife. She's a new mom. She's a little bit of a hater on Taylor Swift. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But she also just so happens to be one of my best friends. So, with that being said, let's get her out here. My great friend, Darrilyn Grillo. Darrilyn!
Hey!
D-Lynn!
That's me.
What's good? How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, man.
I'm good. I'm chilling.
I'm excited that we're doing this.
I am too. I want to make a couple disclosures. The people should know.
Okay, go ahead.
One, I'm a little under the weather. I'm going to try really hard not to snot in your microphone.
Well, that's disgusting.
You know, or like inhale through my nose very much.
Okay.
It's not a pleasant sound.
Okay.
But also, I just want everyone to know I'm wearing my shirt backwards. This is the back of the shirt. It says good things are coming, but I'm like, what's the point of wearing it if this is on the back? So like, this is the back of the shirt.
Things that I would have never known if you didn't say.
I just wanted everyone to know that.
Okay. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna keep.
I'm an open book, people.
Okay. All right. So you're an open book. Let's start with your name, your age, and your marital status.
My name, age, and marital status.
Yes.
Name is Rachel Scott.
Okay.
Age is 47.
Okay.
My marital status is undisclosed.
Okay.
Just kidding.
And on this note, we are now ending the podcast. It's been great. See you guys next week.
Just kidding. Just kidding. Okay. My name is Darrilyn Grillo. I am a whopping 30 years old.
Yeah, 30.
I'm in the 30 club. Okay. And I am married. Happily married.
All right. Happily married to
Addison Grillo.
Addison Grillo.
Hey, boo, hey.
I
hope you're watching.
Excuse me. What do you do for a living?
I work in ministry full time.
Excuse me.
So I'm a creative director.
What are some things you like to do for fun, like hobbies?
Hobbies. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to know what's funny, actually, is I've been asked this question before.
Uh-huh.
And it took me a while to think of them. Because I sing.
Uh-huh.
And I've always just kind of made that my thing.
Uh-huh. But
I do that for a living. So does that make it a hobby anymore?
do you like to do it for fun too? Like,
sure.
Do you do it for fun? Like, how do I say this? Like, do you like write or like do it outside of just your job? Do you like?
I do.
Okay,
I
so
do.
then I would say yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that can be on my list of hobbies, but I really want to. After someone had asked me that question, I was like, let me think long and hard about this question, and I realized some other hobbies, but I've kind of let them die because I can only focus on so many things. Okay, but for me, like if I had the time, like if I was just like, okay, 2020, picture this, everyone's unemployed. That turned dark, but I'm very grateful. I did not lose my job in 2020. Sorry to those who may have. Anyways, in 2020, we all had a lot of time on our hands. I'll say it like that. We had a lot of time on our hands. And so I started getting into, no, keep it in, man. Keep it in. I started getting into, I guess you could call it gardening, but I didn't, at the time I was living in an apartment. It's not like I had like a lawn or anything, but I just got into like plants. I got like a Monstera plant.
I was about to ask you, what plants did you get?
Yeah, Monstera. I got a fiddle leaf fig. Some succulents.
I was just about to say, isn't succulents the one that like can't die if you like, even if you try to kill it?
Well, ask Sasha.
I was just about to throw her.
I'm just kidding. First of all, she was like, Darrilyn, why would you get me a plant as a gift? I was like, they're really hard to kill. You'll be fine. She managed to kill it. She did.
She gonna watch us and be like, that's not funny.
It's fine. It's okay. Not everyone is. Well, like I said, this was my hobby in 2020.
Yeah.
Like I was into it, and a lot of them are dead actually. Yeah. I just didn't have the time to take care of them anymore. They just dropped really low on the priority list.
Yeah.
So, anyways, plants was a hobby, and it definitely would still be a hobby.
Yeah.
If I had time. Reading is a big hobby of mine. I've actually just got back into reading.
Okay.
What's some of the hobbies? Hair. I really like my hair. Like,
Got a lot of hair.
I got a lot of hair, and it took me a long time to figure it out. So it took a lot of YouTube tutorials and finding people with similar hair types to me and figuring out how to do this. But so this was my obsession for a long time too. So I tend to like recycle hobbies.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
long answer.
Nice. No, please. That's good. Now, singing.
Yes.
How did you get into singing? Was that like a family thing?
Mm-hmm.
How did you get into that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It is so it runs in my dad's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is a musician and a singer, and that side of my family is very musical.
Yeah.
Not my mom's side.
Poor mom.
Sorry, mom.
Love mom.
Love you.
Shout out,
You
Mom.
might be tone deaf though. So I got into singing very early on. Like my dad, I think just would teach me things like on piano and stuff from a very young age.
Mm-hmm.
And I just sort of grew up around it. And then I just realized, like, singing along to the radio and stuff growing up, I was like, oh, wait, that sounds like I'm singing the same thing as those people. And no one ever, I actually am about to steal this answer from Adele. But Adele said I would sing and no one ever told me to stop. So I just figured I must have been pretty good. And so it was kind of like that. Like, and I've been singing for as long as I can remember. Since I was a little kid, but I would always freak out.
Yeah.
Like I could never sing in front of people.
Yeah.
I would sing like in front of my mom.
Yeah.
And maybe in front of my dad, but that's about it. And it took me a long time to get comfortable on a stage, like in front of people, like through high school.
Wow.
I just couldn't, at least not by myself.
Okay.
Like with other people, I could do it. Excuse me. But yeah, it took a long time. Took a long time. Like when I felt like God was calling me into worship ministry, I was like, no, and run away. Like wanted to run from that calling really, really fast because I was like, there's no way I could sing in front of people on a regular basis. You're joking. But God did some really cool things in my life, and now I get to do it for a living. It's pretty crazy.
Wow.
It's
and
crazy.
Who are some of your like favorite artists right now?
Artists.
Or who are some of your inspirations artists?
So inspiration. Their songwriting in particular, I don't recommend this person necessarily for all the messages they try to send, but songwriting purposes, Halsey is like really, like she has this ability to like transport you into her world through like the way she writes her music.
Yeah.
I've always really admired her for that. But growing up, I listened to, Christina Aguilera, Shania Twain, which is an interesting one for me, Aretha Franklin. My mom listened to a lot of classic rock. So I kind of grew up around like Bon Jovi and classic rock stuff. And at least in this day and age, I admire just like really strong voices. And I really love listening to people who are songwriters. Like I love Julia Michaels. I love JP Sax.
You got me into both of those.
I love them. Too bad they didn't work out. But their songwriting is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. A very wide array of artists. Just anybody who can write music in a way that like transports me into your world. That's what I gravitate towards. And then of course there's like your classics. Like, I mean, Beyonce, her voice is impeccable.
Yeah.
It's not fair. Tori Kelly, not fair.
Yeah.
Jacob Collier, not fair. Yeba, not fair.
Oh my gosh.
It's not
She's
fair.
Insane.
And then I gravitate towards like gospel artists too. Like I love Tasha Cobbs.
Yes.
I love Maverick City.
Yeah.
Todd Delaney, like love. So, just a whole wide array of, I'm all over the place.
Okay.
All
All
over the
right.
place.
So I have to ask.
Oh, boy.
I have to ask, since you talk about how
there was someone who was not on that list.
Exactly. So since that person wasn't on the list, you talk about how you like people who can take you into their world.
Yep.
Now Taylor Swift writes music that can take you into her world. What are your thoughts on why don't you appreciate that in her music?
Don't you put words in my mouth. I never said that. When did I say that?
I'm just saying what you said, and I'm twisting it into
you're
a sentence.
Twisty, there it is.
I'm twisting
we
it
got her, folks.
I'm just putting it into a sentence.
We got her.
I'm putting it into a sentence.
Hey, yo. Okay.
What are your thoughts on Taylor
Swift?
What are my
thoughts?
Let's hear it. Let's hear your thoughts.
Okay. Listen, I got respect for Taylor Swift. Okay. Like she's in her bag right now. Okay. She really is. Not one that I like personally.
Okay. Let's hear why. Let's understand.
I can just feel people wanting to
rip you apart.
I swear, if I get death threats from this podcast,
I got your back. I'm going to protect you. Don't worry. I'm going to protect you.
Okay. Don't hit
on my dog.
Let me be clear. I there's like plenty of Taylor Swift music that I enjoy.
Okay.
I liked her album. I liked the Midnight's album a lot. I really like Lavender Haze, and I like there's the one everyone loves, Anti-Hero. Yeah. That's the one that's kind of trendy right now. But yeah, I don't know. She's kind of taken the world by storm, which good for her. But I don't get it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it.
I'm trying to be respectful. Listen, she's
be honest. I wanted you to be honest.
But she's doing something, right? She's like a billionaire.
100%.
So what do I know? You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, but no one. You can never make everyone happy.
I agree.
I guess I'm one of those people. She can't make happy.
What's your thoughts on her being in the spotlight 24/7? Like her relationship being blasted, all that, like every 5 seconds on social media.
I don't know if my eye roll communicated it enough. It's annoying. And it's hard because I don't know like what's a PR stunt, what's on purpose, what is out of her control.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that disclosure, but it's very annoying seeing her relationship on like every time. I love to follow like E-News, not to like put E-News on blast, but I love following E-News. It's who I am, the trash Instagram, but I like to keep up with things anyway. But I'm like, every other post is about Taylor Swift and about Travis Kelce, and especially leading up to the Super Bowl. Like, oh golly, everybody. It was like every post.
Yeah.
And it was driving me insane. I was like, is there anything else we can talk about? There's got to be something else we can talk about.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in the world.
It's so true. And I don't get me wrong. I love Taylor. Let me take it back. Let me rephrase that. I like Taylor Swift. I don't love her. I'm not like a huge fan. Like I know her music back to back. I don't know all that. But I'm a fan of her. But even the post of her and her man, all that Super Bowl stuff, it was annoying.
So
100%.
Annoying.
But I felt bad for her because of the fact that I don't think it's her fault. I feel like people are blaming her. Like she's not the one posting it. She's not the one saying, okay, my thing is, she's not the one posting the stuff. Like, she's not the one saying, like, hey, post this, blah, 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 blah. And at the Super Bowl, like, she's not the one saying, put the camera on me. She's supporting her man. She's any other girlfriend supporting her boyfriend at a Super Bowl, like, or at a football game. If you went and supported your man at a basketball game, like, and they put you on the camera screen, like, you're just another girlfriend supporting your boyfriend. It's not like I just don't think that it's her fault that they're putting. Yeah.
Listen, okay, I agree to a degree, but we don't know. Like that's the thing, we don't know what happens behind all of these closed doors. So yeah, I guess to a degree, like maybe it is out of control. Maybe it's not her saying, yo, you know, but how much you want to bet there could have been like some kind of side talk with somebody. And she was like, hey, listen, if you're going to shoot my face, you better pay me for it.
I mean, I guess so. And if that's the case, then she's
smart.
Sick.
But then she's a smart businesswoman. Listen, she making her money, okay? Like from a business perspective. Like,
that's smart from a business perspective, but it's stupid from a like trying
I
to
don't
be
think she
in the
cares,
camera.
but she don't care. Which I'm like, you know, I guess respect to that. But I don't know, man. She don't look like she's hating it. You know what I mean? You're like, it's not her fault, but she definitely doesn't look like, oh no, get the camera out of my face.
My thing is, but then she gets mad at people who make fun of her at like the award shows, because like I think it was at the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the Grammys. I could be wrong, but I think it was the Grammys where one of the hosts was making fun of her for getting posted on the Super Bowl so much, or at a football game so much, and they were like, trust me, we won't show Taylor Swift as much as they show her at a football game, and like she rolled her eyes, and they were like, they started making getting on the host, and I was like, so she can get mad then, but she's not getting mad like you say at the football game. So I'm like, I don't know what to.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, nobody wants to be made. I guess nobody wants to be made like a fool of, and I guess I don't think it made a fool of her though. Like sometimes you just gotta embrace like what the critics say. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I guess, but I don't blame her, I guess, for being annoyed. But I mean, if anybody's used to somebody saying like both positive and incredibly negative things, like she would be, but she's human. But yeah, the posts were really annoying. And I'm going to say something, and maybe someone can enlighten me, but I just feel like some of her lyrics lately, like I remember like some of her older stuff, and I could resonate maybe a little bit more with it just because I felt like her lyrics make sense. I feel like her lyrics nowadays have been like very complicated, and I feel like I have to like psychoanalyze her lyrics to know what they are. I'm a big lyrics girl. Like, and you would think I would love Taylor Swift for that. She's a songwriter. It's one of the things she's known for. Yeah. She's like written with Ed Sheeran and all these crazy people. But I'm just like, why do I have to try and figure out what it is
you're trying to say?
Yeah.
You know, maybe in the comments people can.
Somebody enlighten me. Yeah. What is it? What is it? Somebody tell me what it is. What is it that you love about her so much?
That I can't say because
somebody enlighten me. I'm not I don't want to come across like a hater. Like I respect she's a billionaire, obviously talented in some way, shape, or form. Okay,
I have a question to that. Well, okay. To that kind of, because I heard this question from somebody else. Yeah. And this is a stretch. This is a reach. Okay. And somebody asked me this. And I was like, that's a reach. But okay, I'll ask this. Okay. The question was, do you think that Taylor Swift is the Michael Jackson of this generation?
And
I was like,
who asked you? Who asked you this? Drop the name.
I can't say it.
Who asked you this?
I'm not going to drop the name. I'm not going to do that to this person. But I was like, that's a reach. But I'll ask it. Do you think?
Do I think Taylor Swift?
But listen, the way that she captivates a room, sells out arenas. You know, what's it called? Sells out arenas. The hype that she has, the fan base that she has, all that, from everything that she has right now, and the way that Michael Jackson had it before. Do you think that she's at the same level that he was in the back of the day to what she has now?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely not. Who asked you this question?
I'm not going to say their name.
I need somebody. Listen. I'm upset. She's the same as Michael Jackson.
Well, listen.
No. Think about
when they asked me the question, I was like, what? Really? Like, you, okay. Interesting. But at the same time, I thought about it. I was like, the only reason I thought about it, I was like, I can see where you're coming from. But the only reason I see where they're coming from is because, like, I guess the numbers wise, I see where they're coming from. Numbers wise, I see where they're coming from.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't see where they're coming from in a sense of he made more of an he made more of an impact in the sense of like he changed what's the word I'm looking for?
He changed the industry.
Yes.
He was, talk about a performer. Like, don't get me wrong. I know I was joking before, but like, don't get me wrong. Taylor Swift is a talented performer. She plays the guitar. She sings.
But she's not making an impact in the sense of like changing something in the industry. Like she's not like Beyonce's changing. Mm-hmm. Like I was, because we were talking. I don't want to put Portia out there, but we were talking Portia, and she was telling us how like Beyonce is changing the industry with like going from country to pop to hip hop, doing different things and opening the doors for different artists, and different like black artists, and it's so true. But like Taylor Swift's not doing that for like everyone.
No.
So
that's almost like an unfair. That's a little bit of an unfair comparison. No, I think you can't, in my opinion, you just can't compare Taylor Swift and Beyonce. It's not the same. What I could say is like Taylor Swift, she did change industries. Like when she started, she was a country artist, like full on.
I guess so.
And she transitioned from country to pop pretty seamlessly. Her sound changed. Her sound has changed a couple of times actually. And so for that, I have respect. But I would say that probably Madonna paved the way for that more than Taylor Swift did.
Yeah.
But I think if I just look at each and every aspect of Taylor Swift and compare it to Michael Jackson, and it's not like Taylor Swift asked for this comparison, so I'm not going to throw Taylor Swift under the bus. Not like I know her, but like, let's look at vocal talent. Michael Jackson, like 100%. It's not even close.
100%.
Dancing, not even close. Like you can't compare. Let's see. Michael Jackson. Maybe Taylor Swift could do that, but Michael Jackson literally stood on stage, absolutely still for like the longest period of time, and people were absolutely losing their minds. They were just like, "Oh my gosh!"
I remember that video.
People were collapsing.
Yeah.
People were like literally having to be dragged out of the show, and he did nothing. He was just like, and I'm just like, you have to be something special for you to be able to even to do that. And so like, I just, you can't compare the two. You absolutely cannot compare the two. I think she's doing great, but she's no Michael Jackson. I'm sorry. Even in influence, in my opinion, in influence and captivation, like there's no comparison.
I agree. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you 100%.
Right.
I just thought numbers wise, in a sense.
Sorry.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Somebody show me the statistic, but I'm pretty sure Michael Jackson kind of takes the cake on that one.
I don't know. I don't know numbers. I just figured
I really want to know
he might be a billionaire. I don't know
who asked you this question.
I'm not gonna.
I really gotta know who asked you this question.
Maybe off camera.
Do they think that?
Huh?
They think that whoever.
I don't know if they think that, but
does anyone think that?
People are like, no.
Sure hope not.
Why somebody say yes? Duh. I'll be like,
there's someone out there who probably does.
I
don't mean to offend you, but
I'm sorry if we offended you.
I agree to disagree.
You're a great person.
I hope. But it does say a lot about you, doesn't it?
Speaking of like e-news and all this stuff and all this craziness, have you ever read like the comment section of like a social media post of like a famous person's post?
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? Like, how do you handle that? Have you ever? Yes, like just
like reading other people's comments on famous people's posts.
Yes,
I just think people suck.
So rude.
And you do see some of the comments that are like, when a hater posts a comment, you do see a lot of people like rally behind whoever the celebrity is.
Yes.
But gosh, it's just incredible to me how many people just have no like empathy, no sympathy, no
think they can just say whatever they want.
They think they can say whatever they want, and they forget that like this celebrity is human.
Yeah.
This celebrity is a human being, and if some people feel more confident behind a screen and they can write a comment and say something really mean just because they feel like there's that wall between.
Yeah.
But in reality, like if you would say that to someone's face, like that says a lot about you and not a good way.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you're kind of a terrible human being, and I don't know what happened to you in your life, but dang, I'm gonna pray for you.
Literally.
Like you just can't say that to people. You can't say some of these, like literally, like I hope you die comments. You know what I mean? Or
like,
just like the rudest comments, commenting on people's appearance, children.
I'm like, bro,
bruh, like you're something else. And you know, you could say like all the cliches, and some of it is true. Like when somebody feels like they're gonna, like they feel comfortable doing that, or they say like these horrible things to someone, it says a lot more about them.
Yeah.
You know, and it says like, I don't know, like it's them projecting, I guess. Like if you're filled with that much hate for somebody, you have no idea who they are. You've literally never met them a day in your life. That says a lot more about you, and like you must have that much more hatred for yourself.
Yeah.
If you're willing to just spew things like that, as if it's like drinking water. You know what I mean? Like something comes as natural to you as to do that, then you have a big problem like with yourself, but that doesn't make it any less hurtful. And man, that's why I have respect for, and that's why I feel like I give some kind of disclaimers, like even as we're like talking about to Taylor Swift, like, you know, she's a human being, like she's not just like an object, or like anybody, like any celebrity, they're literally human beings. And so the comment section, man, it can be brutal.
Literally,
brutal.
It's terrible. That's why I'm like, I feel for the people that like turn off their comment section.
Yeah.
I'm like, I see why you do it. I'm like,
protect your peace, man.
For real.
Protect
like,
your peace. Like that's part of like, you know, I feel like people crave fame these days. I mean, in every generation, there's always that percentage of people who crave fame, but you know, and I think everybody craves success to a degree, and like there's a part of that is really appealing, you know, like, oh, I can, you know, people would know me, I can sell out shows or whatever, but then there's just this dark side to fame. And like that's why I feel like I would never want to be famous ever. Like if I were to be like successful in any way, I'd want it to be like, I don't know, let me be a ghostwriter for somebody else, you know, or like let me be behind the scenes, because it's just I don't know that I have the security within myself to hear those comments all the time. Even though like I just said what I just said, like it says much more about, you know, the person saying it than it does about me. But I don't know that I could read hate comments on a regular basis and be okay, you know.
Same.
So I just, when I see it happening to celebrities, it's just, it sucks. It's terrible. And I don't know. I just don't know why people feel so comfortable doing that.
Yeah. It's going to be a weird, tough ride for this podcast too. Just this podcast alone. Like if this could go either way.
Yeah. You're going to get, say something. That's all I'm going to say. Say something.
I got backup. Say something. Damn you.
Man, you know, I used to get in trouble all the time.
What?
I don't want to like completely digress, but like I used to get in trouble all the time when I was like 5 years old, because there were bullies in my school, just like there is anywhere. And if anybody was being mean to my friend, like, or any friend of mine, I would fight them.
Little Darrilyn, what'd you say?
No, like literally, I actually have a core memory burned into my brain. Like this old guy. I mean, I was 5. So this kid, this little other 5-year-old was doing something mean. I don't even remember what he was doing, but did something mean to a friend. And I just ran up to him and kicked him in the shin. And I remember he chased me all around the playground, and I was like, you're not gonna catch me. Because he wanted to like kick me back, I guess. And he did. And then when I told the teacher's like, I saw the whole thing happen. You kicked him first. I was like, okay, but you ain't see what he was doing to my friend. But anyway, I didn't ever have a problem like
standing up for your friends.
Yes. On a very regular basis.
So
my mom
you already started with this whole I'm gonna be this tough Darrilyn from the beginning.
Oh yeah. I
Oh
was
my
a tough
gosh.
cookie.
Strong-willed, strong-minded since day one.
Since day one.
Oh my
Out the
God.
womb.
Random question. Would you ever go skydiving?
Absolutely not.
Why not?
No.
I wouldn't either.
I like my life.
Trust me, I wouldn't either.
I like the ground.
I understand. 100%.
No. It's so scary. I don't know.
There's no point of jumping out of a perfectly good airplane.
Right. There's no part of me that is tempted to jump out of a plane I mean, sometimes there's a person strapped to your back, but like there's just no part of me that feels the need to jump out of a plane, free falling to my potential death.
Yeah, no.
And the only thing to save me is a piece of plastic.
Yeah, no.
Connected by some strings.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to trust that the little pulley thing is going to work.
And then if that doesn't work, you gotta trust that the other one's gonna work. And if that doesn't work, then you're dead.
You're literally dead.
You just fall.
And
you just gotta fall.
And I'm strapped to a stranger.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spend my last moments with you,
Billy
stranger.
Bob.
Billy Bob Kebab, whoever you are. Absolutely not. So, no.
Yeah. Okay.
No. No.
No. Not even a little bit.
Not even a
Would you
little
go? So skydiving, no. Scuba diving.
No.
Really?
No.
I wouldn't either.
I would snorkel. Snorkeling right at the shore. I'll look at all the nice coral and the reefs. But scuba diving? Have you seen the ocean? Okay.
So no shark diving either.
No. Oh God. Okay. So I have to say this.
No. Have you? That was you just No. Have you?
I have to say this. So like Instagram, social media, whatever, all these algorithms like learn what you like.
Yes.
And I liked one video. There was this diver like was showing how she was able to like redirect a shark. A shark was swimming after her, and it was terrifying to watch. First of all, it's like not pitch black because you could obviously see the diver, but she's just in the middle of the ocean, nothing around, and there's this huge freaking shark like swimming up behind her, and she's just like, let me show you what happened. And she's like, when I splash like this, you see how the shark is coming after me. And then the shark came and whatever. And then she was able to like touch its nose and like redirect it to go somewhere else. And I was like, that was fascinating. Also terrifying. I'm going to like this video. Liked it. But now my feed filled with sharks. And as if I wasn't already scared. I have a recurring nightmare, actually. It hasn't happened in a while, but watch it happen tonight after this podcast. But I have this recurring nightmare that I like fall off a ship and I'm stranded in the middle of the ocean. And it's terrifying every time. I wake up sweating every time. It happens often. It's the same dream. So watching these shark videos on my Instagram feed.
Just wake up in a puddle of sweat.
I wake up terrified. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I wake up Addison like, I just had a bad dream. And he's like, what? I was like, I fell off a boat. I fell off a boat in the middle of the ocean. And I almost died. But I'm also a very sensitive sleeper. Not to digress even more into this conversation. But what I read or what I watch right before going to bed is
in your dreams?
Always. So I can't ever watch nothing scary. Like people are like, Darrilyn, you can watch it. It's not that scary. I was like, yeah, but one time I walked by a pillow in Walmart and it was a bee. Like it was like one of those big pillows, like those squishy pillows, and it was a bumblebee.
A bee in a dream just chasing her.
Okay, 2 huge bees the size of the pillow. They look like the pillow that I saw at Walmart. And they were chasing me in my house, and I had to get a bat. And hit the bee, and it broke in half. And when it broke in half, a bunch of ants or spiders came crawling out of it.
Yo,
that's the way my brain works. So, no, I wouldn't go scuba diving. No, I hope that answers your question.
The worst headache. You ever laugh so hard your head starts to hurt? My head hurts so bad.
You're crying.
It hurts so bad.
You're crying.
I have a serious headache.
Any other sensitive sleepers out there? You can identify with what I go through.
She said 17 stories. to say I would never go scuba diving. Oh my god!
Please don't pee your pants.
Oh my
This is a nice couch. You can't stay in the couch, man.
my sinuses are clearing up. I can breathe again.
You can breathe. I'm glad I can help you. I still can't. Breathe. Which reminds me, I wouldn't ever go scuba diving. Because you can't really breathe underwater either.
Oh my god. Jesus, okay.
Of course, there's equipment for that. I just feel like I should disclose that. Anyways, I'm over here having my own conversation. If you haven't noticed, I'm pretty sure I have some ADD, ADHD.
So, Darrilyn.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 7 years.
Happily married for 7 years.
Happily married for 7 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How do you keep a God-driven relationship?
That's a great question. A God-driven relationship takes intentionality. Obviously, when you're looking for a person, if that's obviously a value of yours, you need to look in the right places.
Yeah.
You know, me and my husband, we met at church. Go figure. And so to have a God-driven relationship, it's easy to fall off, like, if you're not intentional about, like, I have to be intentional about being in my Bible on a regular basis. I have to be intentional about praying over my husband. I got to be intentional about praying over my relationship because, you know, a lot of times it's easy to just think of, like, about yourself. And sometimes I'll pray and I'm like, God, help me with this, help me with that, da, 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 da. And I'm like, oh my gosh, when's the last time I prayed for my husband?
Wow.
When's the last time I prayed for, you know, his well-being and prayed for his success and prayed for his, you know, everything. So being intentional is huge.
Yeah.
And being intentional, like, with each other, like, sometimes, like, I'll vent to him about a problem or he'll vent to me about a problem. And I always am like, well, like, I always try to point it back to God, always. And it's actually become so habitual now because we've been intentional about it to where, like, something happens and I'm like, okay, well, like, it must be God's will, you know, and we always just try to find God's will in the midst of something. And, like, it's gotten to the point where, like, when we face hardships or trials of some kind, we're always like, well, God must be doing something, you know, and it's just been cool to, like, see our relationship evolve into that. Of course, we were both Christ followers when we met and got married and everything, but, like, to be able to grow individually in our relationship with Christ as well as, like, together has been really cool. So intentionality, man, be intentional, spend time in your word on purpose. And it doesn't always have to be, like, together. Like, I think people, and if you do, even, it's great, you know, like, but you don't have to, like, read your Bible together all the time. I actually find, like, my quiet time, like, my time in the Bible to be very, like, personal. Like, it's my time with Jesus. It's my time with the Lord. And so I think if you do spend time together in the word, I think it's important that you also on top of that are having your individual time with the Lord. So, like, don't ever sacrifice that. But yeah, it's just like, if I'm intentional myself, working on myself, and he's intentional himself and working on himself, it's natural for us to just kind of, you know, pour into each other in that way and just kind of grow together in Christ as well. Good. So intentionality, man.
What is your advice for somebody who's single looking for a God-driven man or God-driven woman in this culture these days, this generation?
Good luck.
It's preaching to the choir.
Good luck.